Solve the World, Episode 4, Infinite Jest and Other Topics. A girl walks into a drugstore. Streams of blood flow down her forehead. Jennifer Dash is in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and she hasn't solved the world yet. Not hardly. Passing the cashier, a young boy by the name of Atticus Further. We'll meet him in full in just a minute. Jenn held her hand over her head wound so as to not reveal her geyser to onlookers. The store was abandoned. Jenn was alone, except, of course, for young Atticus. But more to the point, Jennifer Dash felt alone. Being a delightful, charming, charismatic, attractive, tall, and lively young lady, loneliness didn't suit her. It was uncomfortable, to say the least, and it made her lightheaded. Or those feelings just came due to the loss of blood. Who's to say? Blood seeped down between Jenn's fingers, paving its own trail and streaking down her arm like Gothic art. Jenn beelined for the paper towel aisle. Without hesitation, she grabbed a package, ripped the plastic off, and applied the whole roll to ease the blood flow. The, quote, angel white towels, unquote, turned red like a plague on Egypt. With her immediate need covered, Jenn pondered her next move. What did she need? Perhaps she could use a new set of clothes. Her current duds were nearly soaked through from anxious and humid sweat. But this was a drugstore, not a super Walmart. No new clothes. No problem. Jenn swiped a bottle of perfume and gave her body a generous 10 sprays before setting the display bottle back on the rack. Ah, that wound. Jenn wasn't a superficial person, especially considering the narcissistic demographic she belonged to. 17-year-olds aren't known for their depth of character and inner beauty. Nonetheless, makeup came to Jenn's mind as a necessity. As she perused the cosmetics aisle, she slipped not merely powder and blush in her back pockets, but also mascara, lipstick, and eyeliner. Surreptitiously, she glanced at the front desk to see if any eyes caught her deviance. Nope, the boy behind the register was caught up in some titan of a book. He'd never notice. Jenn returned to perusing the aisle. Was there anything else she needed? Anything at all? She came across pantyhose and instinctively swiped it. Are you really going to steal? Is this the person you are? A duel began in Jenn's head. Who am I? This doesn't define me. I have a need, so I'm taking what I need. Just like I took Red Jeb's mail. It's no big deal. It is what it is. Stealing is wrong. If you steal, you are a stealer. Is stealing wrong? Jenn managed to have this thought completely free of any sarcasm. It was an honest personal inquiry. Jenn stood there, in the aisle, her eyes locked on a particular scratch on the floor, lost in her thought. What makes stealing wrong? We said we were solving the world, and our first rule was not to just accept what we've been told in the past. If stealing is wrong, we have to find it out for ourselves. I started solving the world by solving this moral question of theft. Philosophically speaking, that sounded all well and good, like a worthy hypothesis to conduct an experiment on. The only problem was that Jenn didn't need to conduct an experiment. She knew it was wrong. Thinking through it, coming up with tests and logical persuasions, these were all ploys to convince herself to do what she knew was wrong all along. The truth is, Jenn mused, stealing is bad because my stomach hurts. It's bad because my body says so. And if I don't listen to my body, Ma'am? It was the boy from the register. His colossal book must be boring. Would you come here, please? Jenn's eyes dilated with fear. She'd been caught. Somehow the boy knew. He'd probably already called the cops and they'd marshal her off to jail. They wouldn't care that she just escaped the dollhouse internment camp for girls who kind of sort of maybe looked like certain estranged daughters. This was bad, and yet, he was a really cute boy.